All right, Shalom. All right, before we get started, we're going to start by facing the east. Let's give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Bakakwadash. That will be giving our praises to the Most High, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shah, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Bakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, and the Holy Spirit, who taught us his truth. Honors to the brethren that's laboring doing the work with the gospel, risking their life and freedom to do so. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, which would be 1/3 of us Israelites, according to the scriptures, who would be the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, who will be seeking our salvation by returning back to the Most High, by hearing and believing on his word, so that he will have mercy on us and judgment. All right, so be back with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. And bear with me throughout the lesson. It's getting back hot out here. As soon as the temperature go up, my phone get to tripping. All right, but the title of the lesson is Uproars and Wars. You know, two of the many signs showing that we here at the end. But when you consider, the uproars of the people in the world wars, they one and the same. They both are conflict. So I'm gonna start right in 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. So yeah, we commanded to measure the time. Goes on to say, when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So, the elect, we operating on a different clock. People of the world, they can tell time looking at a calendar or looking at a clock. But we tell time by measuring the signs, which I did a lesson a while back. People can tell the time, but they don't know what times we in. What good is it to you if you can see it's 9:30 on the clock, but you don't know that we in a time of war, World War III? What good is it if you can see what day of the week it is on the calendar, but you don't know that we in the end days when the mark of the beast about to be rolled out? So measuring times through the signs is more beneficial than looking at a clock or looking at a calendar. But it goes on to say, therefore, where there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars to the people. And we seeing both of those right now, earthquakes and uproars of the people. And shalom to that brother Yahweh and my brother Sahawan. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Barakadam y'all. So yeah, we in a time of uproars of the people and earthquakes in diverse places. Like what's been all over the news lately is all the pro-Palestinian protests that's going on at these different universities. But before we get there, I'm gonna read some of this article real quick. And this is from the brother Yaiquab. Shalom to that brother. So the title of this article, Gingrich slams President Joe Biden and demands Americans be tried for treason for chanting death to America. Yeah, because at all these different pro-Palestinian universities where they having protests, that's an uproar to people, they chanting death to America. Now, they're not the only ones saying that. Here in this ministry, we say death to America too. So this not talking about us, but it includes us. Also too, when you go out of the country, all over Africa, all over the Middle East, even Europe, they chanting death to America and death to Israel as well. So we seeing uproars of the people worldwide. It's not just here in America. But let's get some of this article real quick. All right. He also demanded that Americans be tried for treason for chanting death to America during protests against Israel's war in Gaza. He also threatened to deport those protesting Israel war against Hamas in Gaza in the Middle East and try for treason those American citizens chanting death to America. So foreigners, they will be deported, but American citizens, they would be tried for treason, and that's a serious crime. All right, phone keep jumping. Let's see if I can get some more of this. You can't get up and say death to America as an American citizen. Greenwich charged further that it is time we prepared to defend the survival of the U.S. And I think it's time to be confronted head on. But that's the point. People chanted to death to America, all over the country. So the uproars of the people is it's not a random thing. Everybody got their eyes set on a common enemy, which is America. But more specifically, Esau Edom, because there's many people in America. So which people? It would be against Esau. Because even though over there in Israel or worldwide, they saying death to Israel. Those are also Edomites. But I'm going to get this in the book of Job 20 and 7. Excuse me, 27 and 20. Maybe it's 20 and 27, bear with me. 20 and 27, the heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. So the uproars of the people that we seeing, rather it's in America at these universities, or it's in the Middle East, or it's in Europe, or it's in Africa. They are chanting death to America and death to Israel. In other words, death to Esau Edom, the so-called white man. So again, the uproars of the people is, hey. So the uproars of the people is against a common enemy. It's not just people protesting against each other at random. Because again, they said the earth will declare his iniquity, the heavens being his ministry, all through the power and spirit Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It says that the whole earth will rise up against him. So we see the whole earth is rising up against Edom. More specifically, the Edomites in Israel and here in America. So yeah, the earth is rising up against them. So yeah, uproars of the people not gonna be in an uproar, again at random. It's against a certain people here on the earth. Also too, we're gonna get this in the book of Revelation 13 and 11. Hey, Esau can't take the fire. He can't control what go on outside of America, but within America, that's why they want to deport people for saying death to America or try people for treason. And treason, that's prison, if not execution. But this is Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. He had two horns like a lamb. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Revelation 13 and 11. Oh, this beast with two horns like a lamb is concerning America. A horn represents power. America has two different political parties, be the Democrats and the Republicans. And it says, oh, yeah. And we Israelites though, right? And the Lord about to destroy America with nuclear weapons. Hey, we the only ones getting up out of here. Oh yeah. Let me see. He had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. Now, has anybody ever heard a dragon talk? This ain't talk about no Disney movie where it's a little dragon speaking the English language. Hey, this is a metaphor. So again, he had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. As a lamb, meaning that he will appear to be for the people, like a sheep in wolf's clothing. But we're gonna get this, speak like a lamb, speak as a dragon. So I look up this definition of draconian, and the root word of draconian is Draco. And the word Draco is where they get the word dragon from. So spake as a dragon. So we look up this word draconian. And the definition of draconian is excessively harsh and severe laws. Similar words will be harsh laws, strict laws, extreme laws, drastic, cruel, brutal. So when it says he speak as a dragon, he will speak and he would speak these draconian laws, these excessively harsh and severe laws to the people. Like back in 2020, there was certain people you can't go into certain grocery stores that you ain't been poked up. That you can't eat at certain restaurants if your status ain't up to date. Or you can't come in different establishments without a mask. That was him speaking as a dragon. That was the draconian laws. But that was only the beginning. Now they saying, chanting death to America can get you deported or tried for treason. And which this is just the beginning again, because next they're gonna just start out executing anybody that's against America. That's part of their new world order and their depopulation agenda. So people going to jail, tried for treason, deported, again, that's just the beginning. Next they're gonna start killing folks who are not with America but against it. All right, so now we're gonna get to the next part. And I'm gonna grab this next article, showing the uproars of the people. And this article is titled Hundreds. Oh, what you say? Huh? Oh yeah, most up. Oh yeah, yes, ma'am. Hundreds of college students arrested at nationwide Gaza protests escalate into social justice crisis. Anytime you see that word crisis, you might as well say the word lockdown. Whether it's a water crisis, an air quality crisis, a social justice crisis, different crises leads to lockdowns. But again, hundreds arrested nationwide for these pro-Palestine protests. I'm sorry, what was that? We gotta go. Yeah, we gotta get up out of here. We gotta get up out of here. You got YouTube on your phone? Yeah. Let me give you my channel. Okay. All right, bet. You got a pen on you with some paper? Yeah. All right, bet. Hey, yes, Lord. Come back. Yeah, only your stuff. Christian church, talking to you correctly. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna get back to this. Again, this article is titled "Hundreds of college students arrested nationwide as Gaza protests escalate into social justice crisis." This uproars of the people. All right, now let me see. Many campuses were largely quiet over the weekend as demonstrators stayed by tents erected as protest headquarters. All right, hold on, let me see. Now we're gonna skip that paragraph. Forgive me, y'all. Phone tripping. About 275 people were arrested on Saturday at various campuses, including Indiana University. Goddamn, dude. The phone do not want me to win, bro. Anyways, fuck this phone, bro. But anyways, it said that over 900 people have been arrested nationwide over these protests at these different universities. That's Uproars of the People, and that's them draconian laws being put in effect. All right, so now we see that they arresting, hundreds of people just over a week or so. We're going to get this in Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. Because if they're arresting these protesters at these universities, hey, we next. Because we speak about America the most. If anything, we've been saying death to America and still saying it. It's really us they want. But we're going to get this in Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Yeah, and we just read that you could be tried for treason or deported out of the U.S. for saying death to America, or just speaking against America in general, which is even bigger than that. They say prophecy is conspiracy theory, and that conspiracy theorists and free thinkers need to be arrested. So we just getting closer and closer to that time. The devil shall cast some of you into prison, them FEMA death camps. There you may be tried. You shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful to death. He will give thee a crown of life. And again, that previous article, it said hundreds was arrested from these protests, and that this is turning into a social justice crisis. Which Esau need a crisis to break out, all hell to break loose, so he could bring that solution. And ultimately, that's going to be Revelation 13 to 16. Well, we're going to get that real quick. And he caused of all, both small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man may buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So pretty much what I see how this playing out, when Esau started deporting people or putting them in prison for treason, that their only way out is if they get the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. I see Esau saying, pledge your loyalty to America by getting this RFID chip. But in the Blue Letter Bible, that word mark goes into a badge of servitude. So we see that this is what this is coming to, and ultimately that's what it's going to boil down to. It's not going to no more matter who's saying death to America, who with America, or who against it. It's going to be those who get the chip versus those who don't get the chip. That's what it's coming down to. All right, so now we're going to go to the book of Luke, chapter 21. Luke 21, we're going to start at verse 7. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, we're going to go down to verse 9. But when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. So we see the wars and commotions coming to pass. Now I'm going to look up something real quick, because at the beginning we got, when you see earthquakes, uproars of the people, uproar is a broad term. Uproar ranges from a protest to a nuclear war, because it's a conflict. Just one is on a bigger scale and one is on a smaller scale. But here it says, when you shall see wars and commotions. So I'm gonna look up this word commotion real quick. Excuse me, I'm gonna look up this word uproar. So Yahweh Shai said, when you see wars and commotions. Now, when I look up this word uproar, it reads a loud and impassionate noise or disturbance. The next definition reads a public expression of protest or outrage. Then we go to similar words for uproar from 2nd Ezra 9 and 3. It reads a protest. It reads a commotion. So 2nd Ezra 9 and 3, uproars of the people. Luke 21 and 9, wars and commotions. In other words, Yahweh Shai said, when you see uproars of the people and you see wars, we see both of them taking place right now, signifying that this is the time that he's going to return soon. And but see, also too, we're going to go to the book of Isaiah 19, because, you know, the American people, they overlooking these protests. I believe that 2nd Ezra 15, starting at verse 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. And then it goes on to say that the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. So these protests signify that the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. The sword being what? Civil wars, race wars, purges, exterminations. The destruction being what? The nuclear destruction. Matter of fact, we're just going to get that real quick. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. We're just going to get it real quick. Verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Everybody outside of this circle of the elect. Lord, wouldn't we part of that? For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So yeah, from the uproars of the people to the world wars, it's a fight, it's a conflict. And what did it say there? That one people shall stand up and fight against another. Now the protests, the commotions going on at these different universities and around the world, it's a war, but it's a war with words. Versus the world wars, it's a war with weaponry. But the thing is, these protests, these wars with words, is going to escalate and be upgraded to weaponry. So right now, you know, Palestinians, fake Jews, Americans, they protesting with signs and flyers. So what's going to come next? They're going to start protesting with firearms, with weaponry. And that showed us Isaiah 19 and 2. And I will say Egyptians against Egyptians. That's one people against another. And they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. So yeah, the uproars of the people, you know, it ranges again from protests to a full-out nuclear war. And these protests signify that we coming into that time of Egyptian against Egyptian, which Egyptian is just a code word for American. And American is a term that describes anybody living in America, rather legal or illegally. All right, so also too, we're gonna go to the book of Obadiah, chapter 1. And also touching back on Job 20 and 27. I guess I should hit that real quick. When Obadiah, when it says the heaven shall reveal his iniquity and the earth shall rise up against him. And that's the earth rising up against Esau, Edom, so-called white man. But people rising up and just taking action. You know, it ain't just people standing up for themselves and voicing their opinion. No, people demanding a change. They taking action. So we're gonna show this in the book of Obadiah. I'm gonna read this in two different versions. Hey, forgive me, the phone is retarded right now. So again, Job 20:27, the earth shall rise up against him. So let's check this out in the book of Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah, thus says the Lord concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord. And an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So when it says back in Job 20:27, the earth shall rise up against him, well, the earth is rising up in battle. Rather, it's a war with words through these protests, etc., or it's a war, like what's going on in the Middle East, like what's going on in Ukraine, like what's going to go on in Taiwan. So yeah, the earth is rising up against Esau, Edom in battle. And then I also want to read this. Matter of fact, let me read this in the NLT. This is a vision that the sovereign Lord revealed to Obadiah concerning the land of Edom. We have heard a message from the Lord that an ambassador was sent to the nations to say, get ready, everyone. Let's assemble our armies and attack Edom. So that's what's going on. Edom is being attacked on all levels. Edom being the so-called white man. Here in America, how is Edom being attacked? How is the earth rising up against them in battle? Well, through protests. Rather, it's people voicing their opinions, their complaints, or protests, or revealing the iniquity of Edom. So right now in America, Edom is being attacked with words. But when you go outside of America, people are rising up against Edom and attacking them with weapons, cruise missiles, killer drones, etc. And I'm gonna read verse 2 as well. You know, why would the earth rise up against them in battle? You know, this ain't no coincidence that everybody is upset at Esau, Edom, the white man. Well, we're gonna get verse 2 on that in the book of Obadiah. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And that's why the whole earth will rise up against him, because the whole earth would despise Esau, Edom. Specifically the Edomites here in the West and over there in Israel. So yeah, everybody is joining forces against Esau, Edom. And the thing that's joining these different nations together is their hatred for Esau. Because again, Obadiah 1:1 in the NLT, at the very end, it says, get ready, everyone. Let's assemble our armies and attack Edom. That's the whole world rising up against them. Because ain't nobody trying to just sit down with Esau and talk to him and say we got to do better. People are past that. Now when it says the earth shall rise up against him, that's rising up against him in battle. Rather, it's a war with words through these protests or through literal weaponry, which all of this is going to escalate. Bruh, this phone killing me. Hey, Shalom to the sister Athena, Shalom to the sister Soraya, to that brother Mayaka Allah, to the sister Pam, Shalom to daughter Yahweh, Shalom to the Zaquan Sagala, and Shalom to the brother Danyala. Yahweh Bashim Yashai Barakadam, y'all. Forgive me, soon as the temperature hit like 85 degrees, my phone get to tripping. All right, so we're gonna read Obadiah 1:1 in the NLT, then we're gonna jump to the book of Jeremiah chapter 50. And then again, touching on Job 20:27, the earth shall rise up against him. Everybody's rising up against Esau, Edom, the white man, because he is greatly despised. Meaning what? Everybody share a hate for America and also Israel. All right, so let me read this again in the NLT. This is Obadiah 1:1. This is the vision that the sovereign Lord revealed to Obadiah concerning the land of Edom. We have heard a message from the Lord that an ambassador was sent to the nations to say, get ready, everyone. Let's assemble our armies and attack Edom. In the KJV, it say, let us arise against her in battle. That's the earth rising up against them. But NLT, let us assemble our armies. Now let's see how this link up with, Jeremiah 50 and 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. They shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows, the nuclear missiles, shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. So yeah, we see at the beginning, it says the Lord will cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. In the NLT, in Obadiah, it says, let us assemble our armies and attack Edom. Edom would be the people, but Babylon would be the place, linking those two together. And also, too, we're going to hit this next precept to show that this is concerning future prophecy, that it's not concerning ancient Babylon. Because it's, again, Obadiah and Jeremiah, what they got in common is that the nations will rise up and attack a certain people in a certain place. But now, we're going to get the book of Psalms, chapter 137, and we're going to show how that links Esau, Edom, the white man, to this future Babylon. This is Psalms 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that reward of thee, as thou hast served us. So you see, it starts talking about the children of Edom, then it starts talking about the daughter of Babylon. You know, that's not a mistake. That's not talking about two different kinds of people. It's talking about the same people. Because again, in Obadiah 1 and 1 in the NLT, it says, let us assemble our armies and attack Edom. In the KJV, Jeremiah 50 and 9, the Lord says, I will cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. And what we just read here, the children of Edom and the daughter of Babylon. Your children, the daughter, represents the future. So a future Babylon, who will be ran and controlled by Esau, Edom, whom the nations will rise up against and battle and start attacking her. Rather, this place is being attacked through the various protests and disagreements, a war of words, all the way up to a literal war with weaponry and nuclear weapons. That's what it's going to escalate to. And again, Americans overlooking these protests. That's a strong sign that the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. That's a strong sign that these race wars and civil wars and purges, the sword about to sweep through the streets of America. All right, so now we're gonna get this. I got a few more articles we're gonna get. We kind of just gonna skim through them. And shout out to the brother Yaikwab, the brother be sending these articles. Hey, Sadawan, to the brother Yawitzah. Yahweh Bashim Yashai Barakadati. All right, so the title of this article, U.S. Russia on dangerous edge of war. Putin ally warns. And let's get this first paragraph. Russian Foreign Ministry Sergei Lavrov on Monday warned that the United States and other Western nations are balancing on the dangerous edge of a direct conflict with Russia. And let's get this next statement. The United States and Russia continue to be at odds over Putin's invasion of Ukraine. See right there. It said Russia and America, they at odds. They had a disagreement. They're having some kind of conflict. That's the uproars of the people. But we got to understand the uproars of the people, it ain't got to be two people having a debate in the same city. Uproars of the people can cross and span across different countries. So what? Uproars of the people can happen across different borders. Yeah, even though America and Russia on different sides of the earth, they still in the uproar. a war of words. And what did that uproar turn into? It turns into the war that's happening in Ukraine right now. And it's going to morph into what? A nuclear war between America and Russia. So again, Uproars of the People is not limited to people in the same city. It's not limited to people in the same state. It could be concerning different groups of people on opposite sides of the earth. All right, let me see what else I can get up out of here. All right, speaking to the Moscow conference, Lavrov said America's stance in the Ukraine war will ultimately push nuclear powers into a conflict with catastrophic consequences. And that's what we be saying. The wars and rumors of wars, the uproars of the people, that's a sign showing that the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. All right, let me see if I can get anything else out of this. All right, at the same time, the West is balancing on the dangerous edge of a direct military confrontation between nuclear powers. All right, we got that already. All right, so we just wanted to show that the Uproars of the People, again, it could concern different countries. All right, so if we go get the next article. All right, so this is the next article. It is titled, North Korea says it tested super large cruise missile warhead and new anti-aircraft missile. And let's get this first one right here. The opening statement. North Korea says Saturday it tested a super large cruise missile warhead and the new anti-aircraft missile in the western coastal area as it expands military capabilities in the face of deepening tensions with the United States and North Korea. So key word, deepening tensions between North Korea and the United States. What's that? That's the uproars of the people. Yeah, they're not in each other's face protesting or debating, but they debating across these borders. They're not protesting with signs and posters, but they protesting by these different missile launches. So let's get some more of this. Again, that's the uproars of the people. Cruise missiles are among a growing collection of North Korean weapons designed to overwhelm regional missile defenses. They supplement the North's vast lineup of ballistic missiles, including intercontinental ballistic missiles aimed at the continental United States. Analysts say anti-aircraft missile technology is an area where North Korea could benefit from its deepening military cooperation with Russia, as the two countries align in the face of their separate, intensifying confrontations with the U.S. So remember, Obadiah, let us rise up against her in battle. In the NLT, it stated, let us assemble our armies and attack Edom. And what it say? That the cooperation between North Korea and Russia in a intensifying confrontation with the U.S. So two different nuclear powers, but the same confrontation with the same people, America. Showing that Obadiah, Jeremiah 50:9, let us assemble great nations against Babylon. That is talking about America. But again, it said deepening tensions between the United States and Korea. So even the different countries on the bigger level, they in the uproar too with one another. Again, except they ain't got posters and flyers, they showcasing their weaponry. Nuclear missiles, ballistic missiles, That's how they get their point across. All right, the next article. Jamie Dimon says the future of the world depends on whether the United States can sort out its relationship with China. So yeah, that's Uproars of the people. That's the wars and commotions in Luke 21 and 9. It ain't just people in the same city, in the same place, that's in the uproar. It's the leaders of these countries. They in the uproar too. You know, across the borders, across the world, they in the uproar. That's why it says here, can the United States and China sort out their relationship? Which is not going to be sorted out. The deepening tension between North Korea and the United States, that ain't going to fizzle out. The conflict between Russia and the United States, that's not going to die out either. Everything is going to continue to escalate. Now let's see what we can get up out of this. And we gonna get this. This is a direct statement from the guy Damone. It says you're not going to fix these things if you are just sitting across the Pacific Ocean yelling at each other. That's an uproar. Two countries yelling across their borders, or they all might be in the Pacific. You know, with their different warships protesting against one another. This how people gather in the streets and protest. Well, you got these countries gathering their naval fleets and sending them out to sea. That's a protest just with battleships, showing that the sword and the destruction draw nigh. And again, the people, they overlook the uproars of the people through the different protests. They overlook all the battleships at sea, Chinese spy balloons, the different military drills. Just how people, they gather and practice for a protest or for a rally, that's all the military drill is. That's them coming up with a plan to showcase their power and try to get their point across. All right, so we got the 3 articles showing that the different countries are in the uproar as well. Not just people in the same city or state. But we gonna get this next precept, Revelation chapter 16. We're gonna get verse 12. Nope, that ain't it. The 6th angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. So who's east of the Euphrates? We did it in the sit-down lesson, but it's Iran, Iraq, Russia, China, North Korea. They all east of the Euphrates. And the Euphrates River is drying up, if not dried up already. So what? That these different countries, these assembly of great nations, can attack Edom. They can rise up against her in battle. All right, let's get the next verse. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out the mouth of the dragon. We know that represents the beast, America, and out the mouth of the beast, which represents NATO, also America, and out the mouth of the false prophet, which is the beast overall as well. You know, being Rome, the Vatican, etc. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of God Almighty. So America will be gathering these different countries for battle. How is America gathering these different countries for battle? Well, America got a beef with all of them. Like America, they poking the bear. That's Russia. Now they trying to provoke China into a war by stationing their military in and around Taiwan, establishing the presence in South Korea. So what? To provoke North Korea. Now they provoking Iran and Iraq, all of the Middle East. So that's how America will gather these different countries to battle. All these countries will rise up and decide we got a common enemy in America. We all greatly despise her, so let's attack her. You know, going back to Jeremiah 50 and 9. All right, so now we're gonna go back.
How's it going, man?
All right, how you doing?
Oh, good day, man. Beautiful day, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Beautiful day.
Yeah, most definitely. So we're gonna go back to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 9 as we wrap up the lesson. And the lesson again was just to show uproars of the people that is not limited to protests and rallies and live debates, but that the protests also take place in the form of military drills, missile launches, the naval fleets being gathered in the sea in and around your country, and that these countries, the leaders of these countries, are actually in an uproar too. It's just not face to face. But again, 2nd Ezra chapter 9, we start from the top again. He answered and then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, locally and worldwide and across borders, then thou shalt understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is in the world hath a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. What's the next point? So yeah, we showing the uproars of the people, but all this stuff about to take a deadly turn, because when you got uproars of the people, like the Palestinian protests, you know, you got two different parties. You got those who would be pro-Palestine, and you got those who would be pro-Israel and pro-America. Yeah, it's a fight, it's an uproar, it's a conflict. But the thing is, it's only two different sides. But the days come where friends will fight like enemies. So that what? You know, there will be no friends. There will be no alliances. There will be no cooperation of the people. You know, it'll be a Royal Rumble here in America. And matter of fact, let's show that real quick. Because again, uproars of the people, even Black Lives Matter. And what America called it, Antifa versus the KKK, even with that, there's an alliance. You know, two different teams. Well, the days come, it's going to be no teammates. So we're going to hit this in 2nd Ezra chapter 6. We're going to start at verse 22. And this is how the uproars of the people, the protests, is going to escalate from posters and flyers to weaponry, to firearms, AK-47s, machetes, flamethrowers. Oh, that's the thing too. They got the mechanical dog with the flamethrower. You can buy one for just under $10,000. People about to be using that stuff. All right, 2nd Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So that's the point. And we're going to continue from there. You see, with these uproars, pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, Black Lives Matter, the KKK, well, guess what? Everybody gathered and practiced. But after the protest, after the rally, everybody can go back home to eat, take a shower, have a good night. But ain't gonna be no more good nights here in America. Why? Because the full storehouses gonna be found empty. You seen the Snickers commercials? You're not yourself when you hungry. Let's continue. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. This is the point. At that time, shall friends fight one against another like enemies. So right now, even though there's uproars of the people all over the earth, again, there's alliances. There's teams. Well, right now, what's going to continue from here? It says friends are going to fight like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So when the water stop running, when the swords go empty, it ain't gonna be no pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, pro-Black Lives Matter. It ain't gonna be no KKK, etc. It's gonna be every man for himself. And that's when it's gonna turn deadly here in America. Because even the pro-Palestine protests, you having fights break out. But again, it's still one side against another side. So imagine if it's 300 people in one city, but you got all 300 people against each other. That's what's gonna happen in America. So let's go to the next one. So we're gonna go back to Isaiah 19:2. Which we got earlier. We're just gonna go back to it real quick. Isaiah 19:2, and I will set Egyptians against Egyptians. They shall fight, everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. So again, when we look at Egyptian against Egyptian, somewhere in the scriptures, it's fleeing from me right now, but it says one people against another. People is plural. So pro-Palestine versus pro-Israel, that's one people against another. But here, it says Egyptian against Egyptian. They just talk about here in America, but when you look at that word, Egyptian against Egyptian, that's the same people. Meaning, you're going to have people that's supposed to be on the same team, supposed to be on the same side, that they going to be fighting against each other. That's why we got 2 Ezra 6:24, that friends shall fight like enemies. That's why it's Egyptian against Egyptian, meaning that people who should be fighting for the same cause going to be fighting against one another. That's why it says, a man shall fight against his neighbor. A man shall fight against his brother. That's why Yahweh Shai said, a man's foes should be dead of his own household. So all the different friendships, relationships, alliances, etc., of people being gathered for the same cause, the Lord about to dismantle all of that when the food and the water dry up, so that this could be fulfilled. Friends fight like enemies. Also, too, we're going to close off here in the book of 2 Ezra chapter 15. We're going to go back there again. We're going to start at 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth not. And how do we know that? Uproars of the people. Wars and rumors of wars, commotions. You see the whole earth rising up against him. Esau, Edom, the white man. It ain't none of this gonna die down. The sword and the destruction draweth nigh. The sword again being the race wars, civil wars, purges, exterminations in America and outside America. The destruction be the nuclear destruction. It draweth nigh. Oh, this where we was at. One people shall stand up and fight against another. Like we were saying, that's people is plural. Many persons against many more persons. But the days come that even these same people, no matter which side they on, they're going to fight against each other like enemies. For this shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Also did the lesson a few days ago on the squatters. People are already invading one another right now. People overtaking vacant homes and apartments and abandoned buildings, squatters, they living in your house, in your backyard, in your front yard, even if you there. You can't just run them off your property because the squatters got rights. And that sedition going to increase too. People are rebelling against their government. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, for houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity on his neighbor. Also, a man shall have no pity on his brother, no pity on his children, his spouse, no pity on they of his own household, no pity on his friends. Let's continue. But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread for great tribulation. And that's the reason friends gonna fight like enemies. Because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. Storehouses empty, water dried up, blackout, no air conditioning, no heat, no medical supplies, goods, whatever you may need. So yeah, these uproars here within America and outside America, across the borders of these different countries, it's all gonna spiral out of control into a civil war and a nuclear war. But yeah, that's it. I hate the water for everybody that tuned in. Forgive me, and I apologize for the trouble with the phone, not being able to flow to the best of my ability. Right, but we're gonna face the east and close out. Let's give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Kakudash. All right. Until next time, Lord willing, Shalom.